Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. We're starting with Sony announcing a new PlayStation beta program. Over on the official PlayStation blog, they say the beta program at PlayStation will create an easy, centralized place for you to register your interest in a range of future PlayStation betas. A single registration for beta program at PlayStation will allow you to express interest in gaining beta access to participating games for the PS5 console and PC, new PS5 console features, PlayStation app features, and even user experience features on PlayStation.com. You only need to sign up once to express interest in these various betas, and if you receive an invitation to a specific beta, it's up to you to decide whether you would like to participate or not. Here are the requirements. Players must have a valid account for PlayStation Network in good standing with a current email address. Accounts with restrictions or violations may not be eligible for participation. Players must live in the region where beta program at PlayStation is available, and players must meet the legal age requirement for their region. They say, additionally, while we try to include as many players as possible in our beta programs, sometimes we may get more interest than we can accommodate. By joining this program, it enables you to be considered for beta participation, but it does not guarantee selection for a beta test. Just something to remember. So this was something that Sony announced yesterday, and I think the timing of it is interesting, right? We know that the leadership has completely changed and shifted at Sony. They have a new CEO. We have Hideaki Nishino, now the president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, and we can imagine that at this point in time, they are preparing for the next generation and the next wave, or the next era of PlayStation, I guess we could call it. And on top of that, we know that there are upcoming live service games like Marathon, Guerrilla Games' live service Horizon game, among others, such as Fair Games, right? And you imagine that they're going to try to court as many people as possible to beta test some of these games, but they also make it clear here that this beta test extends well beyond games. It pretty much extends to everything relating to PlayStation. This signals to me that they have a lot of different things that they are going to be considering and experimenting with and looking to get feedback on going into the PlayStation 6 generation. So let me know if you're planning on signing up for this beta program. But talking about Sony's live service games, we have a new report here regarding Horizon's multiplayer live service game. It says Guerrilla Games is continuing to strengthen the team working on its online multiplayer adaptation of the Horizon franchise. The game, which has never been officially announced but has been acknowledged by the studio, has an all-star team working on it, led by Rainbow Six Siege director Simon LaRouche, but now it's added Bungie's former senior design lead Chris Proctor to its ranks. For those who don't know, he is behind some of Destiny 2's most iconic firearms. He'll work as a design director on Horizon Online and will presumably have input on some of the game's weapons. While there's been a number of live service games canceled across all of Sony's first-party studios, this is one the company seems to believe in. It's been in development now for several years, and it must be almost ready to be officially revealed at this point. While we have no further information, it's not hard to imagine how an online Horizon could work. We're imagining something like Monster Hunter, where squads of players need to work together to tie down mechanical aggressors, meticulously remove their armor parts, and ultimately bring them down. So, yeah, this is one of the live service PlayStation games that survived all of the cuts, all of the cancellations, and it does seem like Sony heavily believes in this game. I'm not sure what to think of it, right? Other than the fact that, yeah, they have been developing this game for many years. This game has been in development since 2018, so it's kind of crazy, and they do have a lot of seemingly very talented developers working on it. This seems like one of those games that Sony is going to try really hard to make a success. Not sure if it's going to work. I think a lot of people are either completely uninterested in playing a live service Horizon game or are just extremely skeptical. But, you know, we're going to have to wait to see it officially revealed, see what they end up doing. we can't necessarily judge it before seeing it, but yeah, it'll be very interesting to see the reaction when this is finally revealed. But we also have another update on Marathon. A lot of people seem to believe that we're going to be seeing this game very soon. Over on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, it says Marathon pre-order cosmetics found in SteamDB. Found on Bungie's SteamDB page, updates that add extra editions of Marathon and packages that seem to be pre-order bonuses, as well as DLC that unlocks in Destiny 2 upon the purchase of Marathon, almost certainly cosmetics. So this is like the second time we're hearing about this, and it seems that Sony is getting ready to announce something potentially significant for Marathon. We did hear from Jeff Grubb that apparently Bungie is going to be allowed to kind of do this independently, separate from Sony, separate from PlayStation. They're going to treat it as their own thing. But I do think the timing of this, as well as the announcement of the new PlayStation beta program, makes sense. I think that they're going to announce a beta for Marathon, and they're going to have a lot of people come test it. But moving on to the next topic, we have some not so great news for PlayStation Studios, as they have been hit with more layoffs, unfortunately, being reported by WCCF Tech. It says, according to Kotaku, the San Diego-based PlayStation Studio Visual Arts Services has been hit with more layoffs. This week, an unspecified number of employees were notified that their last day with the company would be Friday, March 7th. The news was shared publicly by former Visual Arts program manager Abby Lemaster, who left 3 years ago for Riot Games. In a LinkedIn message, she wrote that many friends had just lost their jobs, lamenting that Sony had just let go of developers with a lot of experience. It's also worth noting here that PlayStation Lifestyle is reporting that Sony's Malaysia studio actually suffered some layoffs as well. Apparently, 20 employees that they know of were let go. So, yeah, this is another round of layoffs coming not too long after the announcement of more cancellations of Sony's live service games. But yeah, unfortunate. It seems like this is something that is continuing in the industry going into 2025. It doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. And so I will continue to keep you guys updated on that. But moving on to the final topics of the video, we're talking about how the PS3 got a surprise system update, which a lot of people are talking about this morning. Sony rolled out PS3 System Software Update 4.92 this morning, taking players by surprise considering its age. The beloved console, which released in 2006, received its last update version 4.91 back in February of 2024. It looks like Sony has no plans to cease its annual check-ins. The update does exactly what you would expect, and we suspect jailbreakers are going to be miffed about it. The system software update improves system performance, the patch notes read. Please note, to play Blu-ray discs, your PS3 system needs a renewed Blu-ray player encryption key. Please update your PS3 system software to the latest version to renew the Blu-ray player encryption key. Hackers know exactly what this means. Alongside updating the Blu-ray player encryption, Sony plugs as many known exploits as it possibly can with these annual firmware updates. While the company has given up on the PlayStation Vita, it still drops these patches for the PS3. So not a major update for the PlayStation 3, but still interesting to see that Sony is continuing to support it, at least enough to release some type of annual patch for it. But the final topic, I just want to briefly touch on Monster Hunter Wilds and how we are finding out that Monster Hunter Wilds has sold over 8 million units in just 3 days, and it has become Capcom's fastest selling game ever. It is worth noting that the marketing of Monster Hunter Wilds is aligned with PlayStation and the PS5 Pro, and so it seems like this game is another title that has sold tremendously well on PlayStation and is doing a lot of heavy lifting for Capcom here. It is doing great on PC as well, as we can see by the concurrent player count. And so generally speaking, it seems like Monster Hunter is doing better than it ever has, and I'm sure Capcom is thrilled. Another reason I wanted to point this out is because earlier we talked about this live service Horizon game, and a lot of people suspect that it's going to take a lot of inspiration from Monster Hunter. And when you see something like this, when you see just how well this Monster Hunter game is selling and just how well Monster Hunter does in general, you can kind of understand why Sony is maybe like thinking we're going to stick with this Horizon game and try to bring it to market. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.